to be honest. I'm pretty mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. I've been competing for a year straight. The biggest thing was just like take some rest and make a decision for myself.
Since Caitlin Clark's phenomenal play, the Indiana Fever faces a crucial test. She's dominating the WNBA, but with the Olympic break approaching, big changes could be on the horizon. We'll look into her statistics, the Fever's issues, and what could happen next. Caitlin Clark has been outstanding in the WNBA recently. Over the last 10 games before the All-Star break, she averaged 18.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 11.4 assists per game. These stats show how well she's playing. Clark isn't just making an impact by scoring, but also by helping her teammates perform better with those 11.4 assists. However, the Indiana Fever, the team she plays for, has struggled. They have an 11-15 record for the first half of the season, which suggests that things aren't going as planned. Even though their performance was worse last year without Clark, it's clear from watching the games that the Fever could be doing much better and be closer to the top of the standings. Clark has been playing almost 40 minutes per game in some matches. This is a lot of playing time, especially for a rookie, and fatigue is beginning to show. This lack of energy led her to skip the skills and three-point competitions at the All-Star events. During the All-Star weekend, Clark made some important connections. She got to work with Cheryl Miller, a legendary coach who led the All-Star team. Clark and Miller got along well during practices. Miller shared offensive strategies that made the Fever's attacks seem simple. Clark was attentive, learning how an experienced coach operates. Clark also had conversations with Sophie Cunningham from the Phoenix Mercury. They seemed like good friends, and Cunningham praised Clark's skill in making the game easier for her teammates. This interaction was highlighted in the media, showing how Clark is valued by other teams and players. Comparing this with her situation in Indiana, it's clear there is a big difference. Clark is getting recognition and respect from well-known figures in the league, while in Indiana, she hasn't been given the same level of appreciation. The question is whether these new connections will affect Clark's future in the league. The Fever needs to be aware that other teams are watching her closely. The situation with the Fever is problematic. Coach Christy Sides is facing heavy criticism. Her decisions about Clark's playing time have raised concerns. Playing a rookie for 40 minutes in some games is risky and can lead to injuries. Additionally, Side's tactical choices are being questioned. The Fever's offense seems too basic compared to what was seen from Miller at the All-Star game. The Fever is not making the most of Clark's talents or those of other players. The main concern now is how long the Fever will continue on this path. If they don't make changes soon, they risk not only losing games, but also losing their star players. With Clark showcasing her skills and value to the entire league at the All-Star game, the Fever might be running out of time to fix their issues. There's a possible solution for the Fever's coaching troubles. Cheryl Miller, who stood out as a coach during the All-Star game, is said to be a candidate for the head coach role at Indiana. Miller showed exactly what the Fever needed by using smart offensive plays like double cuts and pick and rolls during the All-Star practices. These strategies help players like Clark perform well. Unlike the Fever's usual season play, Miller has a strong background, having previously coached the Phoenix Mercury and the University of Southern California. She is well respected in the league and has a good connection with Clark. If Miller becomes the head coach, she could bring many benefits. She has the skills to use Clark's talents effectively and the authority to create positive changes in the team's culture. For Clark, having Miller as a coach could greatly improve her performance. Miller's deep understanding of the game could help Clark achieve new levels of success. The Fever needs a change, and Miller might be the right person to lead this transformation. The main question is whether the Fever will take this bold step or stick to their current path, risking Clark's future with the team. If the Fever does not act, they might lose Clark's brilliance, which would be a significant setback. The Olympic break is not just a time for players to rest, it's a chance for teams to negotiate and make major changes. Given Clark's impressive performance and the Fever's current situation, many discussions are likely happening behind the scenes. The New York Liberty and the Phoenix Mercury are investing heavily in their teams. The Mercury, for instance, is constructing a $70 million facility, indicating the type of environment they can provide for a star player like Clark. However, it's not just about the money and facilities. The new collective bargaining agreement being discussed could alter the game significantly. There are rumors that rookie contracts might be invalidated, especially if the salary cap increases due to a new television rights deal. This could mean that Clark might become a free agent sooner than expected. With potential maximum salaries reaching $1 million, teams will have more flexibility to attract star players. The Fever faces pressure to make significant changes, like hiring Cheryl Miller as coach and improving their roster around Clark. If they don't, they risk losing their star player. The decisions made during this Olympic break are crucial and could reshape the future of the WNBA. Clark is a highly sought-after player, and the Fever needs to act quickly to keep her. What happens in the coming weeks could dramatically alter the league's landscape. Caitlin Clark is central to these discussions. She has proven herself as a top player, but the Indiana Fever is at a crucial point. They have a rising star, but are struggling to manage this opportunity effectively. The Fever's upcoming decisions will not only determine their future, but could also shift the balance of power in the WNBA. There is a chance that Clark might lead a new powerhouse team if the Fever does not make the necessary changes. Alternatively, the Fever could turn things around and become a serious contender. The current situation is unstable and changes are approaching. The WNBA we see after the Olympic break might be quite different from what we know now. The future of Caitlin Clark with the Indiana Fever is uncertain, and the situation is complex. The team's potential coaching changes, roster improvements, and overall league dynamics are all factors in play. The Fever must act swiftly and wisely to secure Clark's future with the team and potentially reshape the league's competitive balance. As the Olympic break progresses, the Fever's next moves will be closely watched. Will they successfully keep Clark and improve their standing, or will Clark find herself with a new team next season? The upcoming weeks are critical, and the decisions made will have a lasting impact on the WNBA. That's all for this video.